In the quiet suburbia, nestled among manicured lawns and idyllic homes, the Harper family was a model of perfection. Mark Harper, a respected architect, and his wife Lisa, a doting mother, together built a life that was the envy of their neighbors. Their children, Emily and Ryan, were the cherries on their picture-perfect sundae. The Harpers' suburban home hummed with the rhythm of normalcy. Laughter at the dinner table, playful bickering between siblings, and the comforting routine of family life. Emily, the younger of the two, was a radiant sunbeam, a delight to her parents and friends alike. A star student and a gifted pianist, Emily was the apple of her parents' eyes, the golden child whose achievements were the pride of the Harper household. But in every family portrait, there is a shadow. And in the Harper family, that shadow was Ryan. The elder of the two siblings, Ryan was a stark contrast to his sister. Where Emily was vivacious and loved, Ryan was brooding and overlooked. He was the quiet one, the one who stood in the corners while Emily basked in the limelight. A sense of inadequacy clung to him like a second skin, feeding a growing resentment towards his golden sibling. As the years passed, this resentment festered, transforming into a silent storm of jealousy. Ryan, the forgotten son, watched his sister receive the love and admiration he craved, and something within him began to crack. He saw himself as the unseen danger, the overlooked threat, and he yearned for a way to make his presence felt. Meanwhile, the Harper family continued their merry dance of normalcy, oblivious to the ticking time bomb within their midst. They were blind to the storm that was brewing in Ryan's heart, a tempest of jealousy and resentment that was growing stronger with each passing day. But behind the smiles, a storm was brewing, a tempest of jealousy and resentment that would soon erupt into an unimaginable horror. In the shadows of this perfect family, a sinister plan was taking shape. Ryan Harper, the seemingly quiet and introverted elder son, was nurturing a dark obsession. His resentment for his sister Emily, who was showered with the love and attention he craved, had reached a boiling point. His envy, once a mere spark, had grown into a raging inferno, consuming his every thought and action. Ryan's fixation wasn't just on Emily, though. It extended to the family's financial security, their life insurance policy. It was a safety net meant to protect them from unexpected calamity. But in Ryan's eyes, it had become a tantalizing prize, a prize he was willing to commit the unthinkable for. His resentment and envy, coupled with his obsession with the family's wealth, set the stage for a chilling plan. He started to see his family not as loved ones, but as obstacles standing in his way. If he couldn't have their love, he would take their wealth. And to do that, he would have to eliminate them. Ryan's plan was meticulous and deviously calculated. He decided to stage a house fire, a tragic accident that would wipe out his family and leave him as the sole survivor, the only one to inherit the substantial life insurance payout. He spent weeks obsessively researching, learning how to start a fire that would burn hot and fast, leaving little evidence behind. He studied his family's routines, noting the best time to strike when they would be most vulnerable. He knew he would have to drug his parents, Lisa and Mark, to ensure they wouldn't escape the blaze. As for Emily, he planned to trap her in her room, ensuring she would never make it out alive. Ryan was confident in his plan. He believed he had thought of everything, from the placement of the fire to his alibi. He was sure that once the ashes settled, he would walk away not just with his family's wealth, but also free from the shadow of Emily's success. The stage was set for a tragedy that would shake the community to its core. A tragedy orchestrated by a son and brother, driven by envy and greed. A tragedy that would reveal the true face of Ryan Harper, hidden behind the facade of a quiet, introverted boy. A face that was about to unleash a nightmare upon a family that had no idea of the danger lurking within their own home. On what seemed like an ordinary evening, the Harper family gathered for dinner, unaware of the doom that awaited them. The aroma of a home-cooked meal filled the air, laughter and chatter echoed through the walls, the veneer of a perfect family still intact, at least on the surface. Meanwhile, Ryan watched his family with an eerie calm. He had meticulously planned this night, each detail etched into his mind. He watched as his parents, Lisa and Mark, sipped the wine he had carefully laced with sleeping pills. Their eyes grew heavy, their laughter faded, and soon they were slumped over, unconscious. With his parents out of the way, Ryan was ready for the next step. He slipped away, his heart pounding in his chest, the weight of his plan pressing heavily on him. He moved through the house, each step as quiet as a whisper. He retrieved the hidden gasoline can from the garage and began to douse the house, the fumes filling his nose, a harsh reminder of the grim task at hand. His next target was Emily, his sister, his rival. She was upstairs, blissfully unaware of the nightmare that was about to unfold. As Ryan crept up the stairs, his hand clutching a metal gas can, his plan seemed infallible. But fate had a twist in store. Emily, who had been lost in her world of books and music, unexpectedly turned around. Her eyes met Ryan's, and in them she saw not her brother, but a stranger. She noticed the glint of the gas can in his hand, the smell of gasoline in the air, the eerie silence of the house. A wave of terror washed over her. She was trapped in a house with a monster she once called her brother. In a moment of terror, Emily faced her brother, the architect of their impending doom. The house, once filled with love and laughter, was now a ticking time bomb, ready to erupt in flames and bury the dark secrets of the Harper family forever. As Emily stared into the eyes of her brother, she knew she had to fight for her survival. A surge of adrenaline coursed through her veins, and she pushed Ryan with all the strength she could muster. It was a struggle of wills and a desperate dance of survival, the air thick with fear and tension. Emily fought, not just for her life, but for the memory of a family she once knew and loved. In the midst of the struggle, a spark ignited, a flame sprouted, fed by the gasoline that Ryan had spread throughout the house. The fire quickly took on a life of its own, consuming everything in its path. The once warm and loving Harper family home was now a raging inferno, a monstrous testament to a brother's twisted envy and greed. As the flames roared, Emily managed to break free from Ryan's grip. She stumbled towards the front door, half blinded by smoke and tears. Her coughs echoed in the fiery chaos, each one a desperate plea for survival. And just as she thought she would be swallowed by the flames, she felt the cool night air on her face. She had made it out. She was alive. Meanwhile, the sirens grew louder, the flashing lights painting the night in shades of red and blue. The authorities arrived, and firefighters battled to tame the fiery beast that the Harper home had become. Amidst the chaos, they found Emily, soot-covered and gasping for breath, but alive. As dawn broke, the flames finally died down, leaving behind a charred skeleton of what was once a seemingly perfect family home. Among the smoldering ruins, they found the remains of the Harper family and one survivor, Emily, who had escaped the jaws of death. In the ashes of the Harper family home, Emily sat, a lone survivor in a scene of devastation. Her life had changed in an instant, from a picture of suburban bliss to a horrifying tableau of destruction. And yet, she had survived. She had fought and won against the monstrous betrayal of a brother's twisted envy. Now, she was the last Harper standing, the final bearer of a family legacy marred by a tragic fire. As the smoke cleared, the truth began to emerge. The once picture-perfect Harper family home was now an ashen monument to greed and jealousy. The initial shock and grief gave way to an investigation that revealed a chilling plot. Ryan, the overlooked son, had planned to wipe out his entire family for a life insurance payout. His plan, however, was not as foolproof as he believed. The fire, intended to erase all evidence, instead became Ryan's downfall. Forensic experts found traces of accelerants, a clear sign of arson, leading them to question the sole survivor. As the evidence stacked up, Ryan's facade crumbled. His meticulously crafted story, much like the house he set ablaze, fell apart and revealed the horrifying truth. Ryan was arrested and charged, his dreams of wealth replaced by cold iron bars. In the end, the price of greed was not wealth, but the destruction of a family and the life of a boy who let jealousy consume him.